The highlands of Scotland stretched out like an endless sea of green, with rolling hills and misty valleys. On one of those hills stood Merida, her wild red hair dancing in the wind as she gazed out at her kingdom. She had faced many challenges in her life: fierce warriors, enchanted bears, and her own stubborn nature. But now, with peace in the land and her family united, Merida often found herself yearning for something more: a new adventure. One evening, as the sun set over the horizon, casting the skies in hues of orange and purple, Merida saddled her faithful horse, Angus. She felt a strange pull deep in her heart, guiding her toward the ancient whispering woods, a mysterious forest said to hold forgotten magic. Legend told of hidden spirits that guarded ancient knowledge within the trees. It was said that only those pure of heart could hear the forest whisper their secrets. As Merida ventured deeper into the woods, the air around her changed. It became cooler, quieter, and more still than any place she had ever known. The towering trees seemed to lean toward her, their branches swaying, as if they recognized her presence. At first, it was only the rustling of the leaves, but soon she began to hear faint voices, as though the forest itself was trying to speak to her. Curious and unafraid, Merida whispered, "What are you trying to tell me?" The wind picked up slightly, and the whispers became clearer. "Follow the golden trail," they said, and as if by magic, a path of shimmering golden leaves appeared before her, winding deeper into the heart of the forest. With Angus by her side, Merida followed the trail until she came upon a clearing. In the center stood an ancient oak tree, massive and twisted with age. Its roots seemed to pulse with a faint magical glow. Beneath its branches there stood a figure, a young woman clad in silver armor, her long hair as dark as the night. "I've been waiting for you, Merida," the woman said softly, her voice echoing in the stillness. "Who are you?" Merida asked, instinctively gripping the hilt of her sword, though she didn't feel threatened. "I am Era, the guardian of this forest," the woman replied. "Many centuries ago, I swore an oath to protect the knowledge of the Ancient Ones. But now, the time has come for me to pass my duty to another." Merida raised an eyebrow. "And you want me to take on this task?" Era smiled, a glimmer of amusement in her eyes. "You have the heart of a warrior and the spirit of a leader. The forest has chosen you." Before Merida could respond, the ground beneath them began to tremble. A deep rumbling echoed through the trees, and suddenly, from the shadows of the woods, dark creatures emerged. They were made of mist and shadow, their eyes glowing with malice. These were the forgotten spirits, the ones who had been corrupted by time and darkness. "They seek to destroy the magic of the forest," Era said urgently. "If they succeed, the Whispering Woods will fall into eternal silence." Without hesitation, Merida drew her bow and nocked an arrow. "Not if I can help it," she said, her eyes blazing with determination. The battle was fierce. Merida moved with the grace of a hunter, her arrows flying true as they struck the shadowy creatures. But for every one she felled, another took its place. The creatures swarmed around her, but Merida stood her ground, her heart racing, her instincts sharp. Era fought alongside her, wielding a sword of silver light that cut through the darkness with ease. Together, they pushed the creatures back, but it wasn't enough. The darkness was relentless, growing stronger with each passing moment. In the midst of the chaos, Merida remembered the whispers she had heard earlier. The forest had chosen her, not just for her skill, but for her heart. She closed her eyes for a moment, focusing on the deep connection she felt with the land around her. The whispers grew louder, guiding her. Suddenly, Merida knew what she had to do. She raised her bow once more, but this time she aimed not at the creatures, but at the ancient oak tree. With a deep breath, she let her arrow fly. The arrow struck the tree's glowing roots, and a brilliant light erupted from the earth, spreading out like wildfire. The light enveloped the forest, driving the dark creatures back into the shadows from which they came. The whispers of the forest grew louder, a chorus of ancient voices thanking Merida for her courage and wisdom. As the last of the darkness faded, the Era placed a hand on Merida's shoulder. The forest will always be with you now, Merida. You are its protector, and it will guide you in times of need. With that, the guardian faded into the mist, leaving Merida alone in the clearing. The golden trail appeared once more, leading her back to the edge of the forest. As she emerged from the woods, the sun was beginning to rise, casting a warm glow over the highlands. Merida smiled, her heart full. She had found the adventure she had been longing for. But more than that, she had discovered something new within herself. The strength to protect not only her people, but the very magic that connected them to the land.